pleasure. It's Stacey Dooley. We've got any Stacey Dooley fans here? Wow, he's made a reaction that I expected. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the Dooley, basically she's a woman from Luton who does like hard-hitting documentaries on like drugs, gangs, and incidentally some lovely adverts for Nice and Easy. But the way she presents, it's like she's been plucked from Love Island and placed in like these high-stress situations. She just says things like, "Wow, I ain't seen nothing like this before in my life." And I beside her would just be like, "Well, Stacey, this is an industrial meth lab. I'd be worried if you had seen anything like this before." Or like in another episode, she went to Chicago and she met this gang member, and he talked about how 65 of his friends had been killed in gang warfare, and her response was, "Yeah, it's not on, is it?" How do we get from Attenborough to Dooley? Do you know what I mean? It's like we've gone from driving a Ferrari to thumbing a lift, do you know? But it's still so good though, do you know what I mean? I love it. But my all-time favourite is Louis Theroux. Did anyone see the one he did on polyamory?
Yeah.
Oh, mwah! In terms of episodes, the best bit is when he met Brad, Trish, and Brian. So basically, he got to know them, and then at one point he goes, I'm just wondering, how does it work in the bedroom? Now, for all the tension behind this question, he may as well just looked at the camera and gone, it's a double bed and a single bed shoved together, and it's Brad, Trish, and Brian spooning. It's like a BL Trish. And then he goes, what happens when it gets more physical? Now, this is where Brian pipes up and he goes, well, you know, I can't last very long. So when I finish, I go downstairs and play Xbox, but Brad can last a really long time. And the camera just cuts to Brad and he's like, and Brian goes, but you know, I'm real good at foreplay and Brad isn't. And the camera goes back to Brad and he's just like, but I just love weird things like this. Like Kim Kardashian is now doing a true crime podcast. Does anyone listen to it? That's the response. But can you imagine if you're in death row for a crime you didn't commit, and you just see Kim Kardashian walking down towards you in a dress made of like duct tape and condoms, and she is your last hope. Do you know what I mean? But it's the natural progression, you know, sex tape, celebrity, crime fighter. Do you know what I mean? Like, Batman was exactly the same. Did no one see a Dark Knight and Robin, huh? I saw this new movie, it's not a new movie, it's an old movie, Before Sunrise. Has anyone seen it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a great film. For those of you who haven't seen it, basically it's these two strangers, they meet on a train, and then they decide to go around Vienna, like all through the night together, fall in love, etc. It's really nice. But basically, it's a bit like When Harry Met Sally, but they're likable. Do you know what I mean? But the thing is, if you take the romantic lens off of it, it's basically a woman is sitting on her own on a train, and a strange man comes up to her and says, do you want to walk around the city you don't know with me all night? That's essentially Taken. Do you know what I mean? That's what it, like if I was on the train and that was happening beside me, I'd try to catch her eye and go like... Do you know what I mean? Can you imagine what her friends say after? Like people are like, are you out of your mind? Are you mentally deficient? I don't know why they're posh, it just feels like they would be posh. This is like a posh situation, do you know what I mean? But like, to be fair, if I was on the train and a beautiful woman came down to me and started flirting with me and said, do you want to walk around Austria with me or whatever? I'd probably do it. I would do it. But like, to be fair, I'd 100% end up in like a dingy bathroom with like my kidney missing, and that's like best case scenario. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know. Like, I think men are just stupid when it comes to sex. I think all the logic goes out the window. Like, for example, I was going on a date one time with this girl, and it was Hebe. And she was lovely, she was really friendly, she was really bubbly, and like at one point she was like, yeah, so like I love animals, that's why I work in the shelter, you know, because I feel like I'm a real empath. And while she was mid-story, a girl from the next table politely said, oh sorry, could you move your chair? And he just turned around and went, why don't you move your chair? This was always teasing me because I love all the little dog. I was stunned, this came from nowhere. And like, for the rest of the night, like, you know, when we were having sex, I couldn't get out of the line. You know what I mean? I just couldn't get out of the poor dogs. You know what I mean? And like, And like, I'm aware that I'm being judged as well on dates. I probably give up like a big friendly giant vibe. That's fine. But no one wants to fuck Hagrid. Do you know what I mean? So, it's not the best. But like my friend Niall, he was out in Dublin one night and he met this girl and she said, "Do you want to come back to mine?" And to be fair to Niall, this doesn't happen very often. So he was, very enthusiastic to this offer. So they're in the taxi and they start going on the motorway out of Dublin, and they pull up at a halting sign. So this is essentially where members of the travelling community live. And he starts freaking out a little bit, but again, this doesn't happen very often and he's very horny, so he gets out and goes into the caravan. And basically, they start hooking up. And at one point she goes, "Keep it down. My father's next door." And we never saw Niall again. We did, but that's the movie, to be fair. Like, do you know what I mean? Anyway, that's me. Thank you very much.